figure out technology on the fly here. It's a lot to ask.
Man, I don't know if you guys saw Oklo popped 10, 12% at the open and has faded away all of my gains. It's down 2% now. CEG, Constellation Energy Group, inked a big deal with Meta. That was announced in the pre-market this morning. And likewise, even that stock has faded a bit, only up
Yeah.
5%. Yeah, Mike says Oakla will be good long term. I agree. But man, I was pumped this morning on that. And then poof. Let me show you. There we are. Here's Oakla, my good friend. Almost to all-time highs. And look at that fade from the open. Shot up immediately. Let's go to 1 minute chart. Shot up immediately out of the gate. 59 almost. Boom. But I think this is a good buy right here. I'm shocked that it's down this much. I expected a fade from all of them. See how GV is still holding up good.
UEC is holding up a lot better, and then CCJ I think is up still 1% or
Yeah.
2%. Yeah. Oh, but it's faded even more since I looked at it.
SMR
Wow.
is down. But hey, just shows you the potential, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I still think it those are flashes in the pan that show you where nuclear ultimately is going, you know.
Doug says Hims did the same thing. Yeah. They had an acquisition. Nice. David is up 200% on the Oakla trade I gave. Awesome. Love to see it. Love to hear it. I think I'm up 200% as well on the options. I'm up 60% on the stock. Not bad there.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Not bad. So, well, today we'll jump into it all. And today we'll do the normal market overview, market outlook. Happy to say that it's been pretty spot on the money the last couple of weeks. So I'm, proud of that. Hopefully it's helped you guys out in your trading. Um,
Hey, by the way, speaking of trades, we did that Lulu like pre-earnings trade yesterday, and Lulu's up like 3% since we put it on. So a little head start on that trade too.
front running me. Front running me, Nate.
Oh,
No
just
camera
kidding.
Nate out here front running.
Ignore, I didn't say that. Yeah, I'm trying to download it update right now. Yeah, I don't want to deprive people of my beautiful face on a Tuesday morning, you know?
Y'all, of course. Rob's got a question here. Love this, can't always make it. How do we access the recordings? Well, let me go ahead and pull up our YouTube channel. You can get them all there. Now it is, we share it with Chris and some of our other traders here. Here's a link where you can find the recordings. However, what I'm going to show you here, and you guys probably saw it in Telegram, I think we're up to 150 emojis here, which is nice. Nice little start. We are going to put everything together in a members portal for you guys. This isn't like a membership. This is a free show we do. We put the content together on our own behalf. We're doing it each day, so we figured we might as well share it with you guys. Now we're going to make everything in one central location for you guys. And as you can see here, the price is $4.97 per year. Just kidding. We want to keep this as free as possible. The show will stay free, but if you want everything all in one place, including the recordings, the trainings we give, the decks, the trade alerts that we do in here, just the trade opportunities we cover, including the calculators and all sorts of other goodies, it's going to be $1 for lifetime access. No crazy renewal fees, nothing like that. Again, we just want to keep it free, and our team told us we had to charge something to get it in the members portal. So we said, what's the lowest we can go? And they said $1. So that'll be coming up tomorrow. We'll share the link in here for you guys to get access to that. Again, the goal is just to get it all centralized in one place so it's easy for you guys to access this information. Now, for the current trades that I have open from the opening playbook, you can see them here. And like Nate said, Lulu off to a nice little run. This is an earnings opportunity. They have earnings on Thursday. I'll cover the trade here again in a moment. But off to a nice start there. The only one down for me is Bitcoin, which we talked about yesterday. Kind of, hit all-time highs and has faded since then. I am still very bullish on Bitcoin here in the very near term over the next few months. I do think that we're going to see 125 to 150 on Bitcoin, and that is kind of my peak target is the 150 range. I know some people have predicted 175, 200, and higher. I think 150 is a very reasonable target. I think 125 is a very, very strong first target, or even if you don't really like Bitcoin that much, but you're dabbling with it, I think that's a great sort of trade to set your target at there. But the other ones looking good. And there's our Oakla trade up 205% on the options so far. And Oakla now flat on the day. Um, the other Telegram of the week. This one was my Telegram of the week, but just kind of just a teaser for tomorrow. But really, I liked Meta for you guys. Progressive, here was a bonus one for you guys. It's hard to see here. Profit target price on Progressive is 296. Let me blow this up, make sure I'm 296.95 for Progressive. Progressive is down 2% today. Let me pull up this chart and kind of show you guys what I'm seeing right now with Progressive. It's a stock I love. It's been very good for us over the last couple of years. But we're kind of seeing an ascending triangle right now. Or if you're going to draw this out, I'm going to put it about 290 and then here. So if you guys know anything about basic chart patterns, that's kind of what we're seeing here on Progressive. Let me zoom in a bit. So we've got this barrier here about 290, just a rough kind of line for you guys to see. I think we're going to keep seeing this start to squeeze, pinch more and more and more. And then eventually we're going to pop 290. This is my expectation. Pop 290 and go from there, where I think we'll see a quick burst above 300 on Progressive. So that's why I like this one right now. Today it is down slightly, which isn't a bad thing. Good chance to get in. And I wouldn't be shocked if we get back down to the 277 range. Kind of do this whole little channel here. Hopefully this makes sense what I'm saying right now. But this ascending triangle on Progressive, and it is also an apex entry for you guys with that profit target in mind. Did the jolts come out? Let's go look. Job openings report did come out, and I was actually going to come on this show and say I think it's going to be worse than expected, but I was wrong. Look at this. Uh, this is our economic calendar. I'll just post this link in the chat. If you guys want it on your own end, I go here to the filters and I select USA. I'll just show you. I clear all. I just go select the US and the 3-star, the most important reports coming out. So we did have job openings this morning, better than expected. Smoked the forecast, smoked the previous, so that's really positive for us. And I think this time around, unlike previous years, not to dog on or not to get too political, previous years, last 4 years, I think we saw this number kind of inflated by government jobs. I think right now with the whole Doge effort and everything, this should be real economic jobs, so that's cool. Good to see. As a bonus for you guys, I know we do a lot of trades in here, and we give you the entries. We don't always track the exits. I try to follow up on the exits. A lot of times I'll exit here, but sometimes I exit on my own. But I want you guys to have this, build for you guys a template trade tracker, the percent change, days held, whatever stake you want to put in here. It should be already pre-filled. So you just put in your entry date, exit date, ticker, the option you took, entry, exit price, and you can build your own little trade tracker for yourself here based on opening playbook trades, or you can make a copy for other strategies you trade. No problem. I posted that link in the chat. Go ahead there. I hope I didn't make it so anyone can edit. Let me go make sure. Should be view only. Yep, view only. And then what you'll come here to file and just make a copy and then call whatever you want. And that'll be your trade tracker, template trade tracker to keep. So I put in 19 spots here, but if you want to add more, just right click, insert row above, and go from there. I don't think I need to spend too much time telling you guys how to do it. It's pretty straightforward. Should be good for you guys. And again, that's something that will be in the members portal, the $1 VIP members portal for you guys here when we announce that tomorrow. And for our morning market update, moved a little bit since my screenshot, but not too much. We were mostly flat at the open with a slight increase on the QQQ in small caps. Bitcoin leading the charge. I think this is a natural kind of move on Bitcoin, especially after I think it was 5 days of selling, 4 or 5 days of selling on Bitcoin. So just good to see it bouncing back. Nothing crazy here. We got a question. Is the jobs openings good for stocks? It is good for the economy, but I don't think it's something that's going to send stocks absolutely ripping right now. For the economic reports, again, we just had job openings. We have jobless claims on Thursday and unemployment rate on Friday. Very normal reports that we see all the time. Next week is the big week. Next week, pre-market, we have CPI, which is actually gaining a lot more news right now. Now that the tariffs have kind of I don't know. They're kind of running in the backseat right now. Powell is hinting at maybe they will start cutting rates sooner than expected. This report's going to say everything. If this report is positive, positive in the sense that CPI is lower than expected, we're going to see. I believe we're going to see the market surge uh, over the next skip a couple days in a row because that will imply that the Fed has now the tools to cut rates in theory without bringing back inflation. Now, I think personally, if they do that, inflation will come back. But again, a lower CPI report is better for interest rate cuts. Same sort of thing for PPI on Thursday. So these are going to be the important reports that we're going to want to see next week. We'll check it out live together and follow along. Uh, how do I do the trade tracker? Just go to the trade tracker, hit file, and then make a copy. It's the fourth drop down. For the charts of the week, got some fun ones for you this week. This shows the that listening to the news isn't always such a good thing, or making your trading decisions based on the news isn't such a good thing. Over the long haul, a buck invested in the S&P over the last 35 years is up 30 to $37, or 10,000 is up to $370,000. That's a pretty big return there, right? 3,700% return on the S&P. But look at all this scary news along the way. Only very few of these news events actually ended up being very, very negative for the markets. Like the dot-com bubble, obviously bad. 9/11, obviously bad. But Iraq war begins. If you sold on that, you missed out. Uh, Global recession, 2008, I think we all know what happened there. But flash crash in 2010, a big scare. You missed out. Let's look at this. Ebola. Oil prices crashed at 13-year low. Bam. What about COVID? When all the news happened, COVID, everything shut down. Great buying opportunity. So we're getting this tariff news right now. Yes, it has created volatility just like the last one did. You can kind of see here that shakiness in the markets. Same thing here. But ultimately, if you sat on the sidelines, you missed out. So my point here is don't always listen to the news and make your actions based on that, because about 4 times out of every 5 big negative news events ended up being very positive in the markets. Here's another chart I saw just yesterday, and I've been seeing a lot of talk about emerging markets or overseas alternative investments to the US. Right now, the US is trailing other investment classes year to date, underperforming the rest of the world by about 12%. And people are saying time to go overseas with your investments, ditch the US, yada yada. That's fine. You can do that. I'm personally not going to do that because this is a pretty rare reading. The last time we saw it here was 2008 or 2009 rather. What came next? The US dominated after that. Before that was the 1990s. What came next? The US dominated after that. So you can look at this. You can read all the headlines about how emerging markets are just crushing it right now, or even Germany is doing really well as well. And you can put your money there, probably do okay, but I think the U.S. will dominate in the long run, and we'll see that trend continue. In other more bullish news, the Goldman Sachs posted this. Hedge funds recorded their largest long buying in tech stocks since 2013, week over week. So you can see here, this measures hedge funds net buying or selling. This was last week. Very, very bullish signal for us. The last time we saw something like this was at the bottom of the bear market, like the exact bottom of the bear market of 2022. Pretty strong signal. Last time we saw a big sell signal was right before the bear market. So this is typically a pretty good reading and indicator for us. Very strong signal from the hedge funds. For the bond traders out there, or those of you who trade TLT, you can see this as positive or negative news. But right now, there's record shorts from Wall Street on the ultra long bonds. They're betting it's going to go lower more so than ever before. Now, there's two ways to view this. One is that the hedge funds or Wall Street's normally right, and the bond market will go lower, which wouldn't shock me. But a bullish view of this is if we do see some rate cuts potentially coming, if we do see bonds going higher, we could see a mega squeeze on the bonds. As you guys know, what happens when short sellers have to cover, when a trade goes against them, they have to do that by buying the underlying asset. So if we see a squeeze on bonds, or a little spurt of growth on bond markets, we could see a major short squeeze on bonds. Now, I'm not long bonds at the moment. Nate, I think you might have some bonds, but I do think if we do start to see this breakout, this could be a mega rally to play on the way up. It'll be quick, it'll happen fast, and we'll have to play it in real time. Here's another one for you. Man, I've got lots of fun market charts for you today. This is since the Liberation Day. We always talk about what happens buying stocks during the day, selling over or buying stocks at 9:30 a.m. open, selling them at the close versus buying at the close and selling the next open. Historically, over the last 30, 35 years, buying the close, selling the next open has been the most profitable strategy in the S&P, and actually buying at the open and selling at the close has netted a negative return. However, since Liberation Day, when we're seeing all this volatility, that has temporarily flipped. So buying at the open, selling the close has been a net positive 8.8% versus overnight has been a negative 3.5%. I do expect this to revert back, but just letting you know, this is kind of the environment we're in right now, where a lot of the negative news, a lot of it has to do with the tweets and Truth Social posts that happened over the weekend. We're seeing this negative drop overnight. One thing to point out that stuck out to me, and I just saw this, and I said, I wonder how this does in the long run. I saw gold positive intraday and overnight since Liberation Day. So I thought to myself, I wonder how that looks in the long run. So I used Google's AI, the deep researching feature, to go. I just asked it, I said, can you tell me? Actually, let me just show you what I asked it. If I can find it. It was in one of my tabs, one of my mini tabs. Here we go. All right, this is what I did. Told you in Telegram, I used AI, I used ChatGPT to figure out how to turn on and off my outside faucets last night. Here's how I do it in the stock market. I just asked Gemini, turned on the deep research. Can you pull the data for me on how GLD has done by trading open to close market hours and then compare it to buying the close and selling the next open? Pretty basic, straightforward question, right? That's all it took. I was just wondering. It then did its whole thinking thing, blah, blah, blah. And then I don't know where I can see it, but somewhere down here it just says, do you want me to perform the research? And I said, yes. And then it came over and performed this whole research document for me. And if I scroll down to the conclusion, I mean, look at all that information. It also links sources and all that good jazz. The conclusion here, if you look at gold, GLD specifically, over the last many, many years, last few decades, if you buy the open and sell the close, trading during the day, you average about flat or a loss, really. Annualized return negative 12%, buying gold during the day and selling it at the close. Not great, right? However, on the opposite side, if you're trading gold overnight only, buying the close, selling the next open, look at this. Your annualized return is 38%. And this is over, I think, the last 35 years. So there's been bad drawdowns in gold during that time too. 38% annualized return. Think about that. The S&P over the last 20, 30 years is about 9, 10% a year. This is like quadruple the S&P. Pretty crazy. So I'll be looking into this more and seeing how we can trade it. But I just wanted to show you guys again how resourceful these AI tools can be. This is all I asked. That's it. What is that? 20 words? Very basic, straightforward, nothing crazy, nothing complex, and it gave me everything I needed to know in a matter of about 2 minutes. Is that cool or no? Is that not cool? Let me know if that's cool. I thought it was cool. Okay, cool. A lot of you guys think it's cool. That's good. ET says it's okay. Another thing I saw, and I had no clue what this really meant, was a Bitcoin signal happened. Bitcoin weekly hash ribbon just flashed another buy signal. Powerful on-chain signal has historically marked strong mid-cycle entries in previous bull markets. Each time minor capitulation ends, recovery resumes, and this blue dot appears, and historically, price follows. So blue dot, price goes up. Blue dot, price goes up. Blue dot, price goes up, right? I didn't really know exactly what this meant. I'm not a Bitcoin miner. I'm not a computer science wizard by any means. So all I did was I copied this text here, and I went to my good friend ChatGPT. Let me just paste it in there. Posted that text in there, and I just said, what does this mean? and it does the full analysis for me, breaks it down in easy to understand language. So basically, the hash rate is how I believe, it's how frequently Bitcoin is being mined. Miner capitulation when it gets very expensive for the smaller miners, they have to go bankrupt. Not great. And then the recovery begins with the bigger miners. So that's in essence what it means. And then obviously, look at this. Let me know if you want to see the actual indicator on TradingView. Yes, make it for TradingView. Check this out. It literally does everything for me and can give you this indicator so that you can now monitor the hash ribbon with that blue dot for Bitcoin. I think that is so cool. So anyways, just a fun little tidbit for you there. So yes, this is a bullish signal for Bitcoin. That was the point of this post. But it is so cool to see how we can look at these complex market signals and get a good breakdown of what it means, how we can position ourselves according, and then even like build an indicator for us. You guys saw that. What was that? 20 seconds it took to build that code, and then we can have that on our charts as well. Uh, Stacy, cool. I need to learn. I need to use it more. Yeah, I just downloaded the ChatGPT app. It is so resourceful. Again, it's completely replaced my Google search, which I think will be not so good for Google, but really great for me. Um, my code does not always work. You are right. Sometimes it will produce a code and then you'll post it in TradingView or Thinkorswim and then it'll say error. I just copy over the error and said this is the error it gave me. And then it normally fixes it. RV's asking, can I make it in Thinkorswim? Can you recreate this code for or swim? Let's see. Yes. Here you go, RV. Oh, here we go. Let's see what this is. So TradingView has extra resources that Thinkorswim doesn't when it comes to the hash rate, but it's using a different Bitcoin over US dollar as a proxy. So it does recreate it for you there with that different signal. But super cool. Took me zero effort, zero thinking. I don't have to. I used to have to go on all these forums, watch YouTube videos, try and figure out things, manually do it by hand. Now it's doing it for us where we can really optimize our results at a much quicker rate versus I mean, it used to take months and months and months to make a really good indicator. Now it might take weeks. Super cool. All right, let's get back into the market. Market overview. Last class, I told you I think we're going to get a bounce off the 200-day moving average and kind of park out there around 600. I said if we do break below that 200-day moving average and expect it to go to the 50, but that was that arrow I gave you there, the exact screenshot, and this is where we are now. We didn't quite get to 600, but we did bounce off that 200-day moving average, and we are sort of consolidating here with the markets again mostly flat today. So where do we go from here? Well, actually, funny enough, the data hasn't changed too much week over week. When we look at the fear and greed rating, still about the same. Look at this. 1 week ago, 63, and previous close 61, and we're at 63 now. Not a lot of movement. We're just seeing some consolidation on the markets. I think a healthy consolidation, especially considering we just went like that and a crazy bullish bounce. CPC is normalized. There's no overbought or oversold readings right now on the put to call ratio. If we look at the percentage of stocks above the 50-day moving average, we are kind of parked out here at a really healthy 65, 70% of stocks above their 50-day moving average. Very cool or very good, strong sign for us right now. This is that positive note that I told you about last week. A lot of people think I missed the recovery. I missed out on the opportunities. I don't think so. We're not at all-time highs yet. And if you look at the percent of stocks above their 200-day moving average, only 40% of stocks are above their 200-day moving average. That means 60% of stocks still have a lot of room for growth. Now, not every single stock is going to go to all-time highs, but it does mean that there's still a lot of opportunities out there. And of course, we'll talk about some of those opportunities today. When it comes to seasonally looking at the markets, how do the markets typically perform in each month, week, and by sector? We're going to see a slowdown here on the seasonality, right? June, July, August, September, summer is typically choppy. So what this means for me is that we'll just have to be more selective with our entries, what stocks we want to trade. We're not going to see the wide basket. This is just looking seasonally. We typically wouldn't see the wide basket of stocks soaring higher and higher and higher every single day. We're going to have to be more selective. For our presidential seasonality, that 1 year trend of inauguration year, right in line with the typical seasonal move. However, we do kind of have some typical choppiness ahead in June, going into early July. And then you can see here, markets typically are really strong in July on an presidential inaugurational year. And that also lines up with the every single year seasonality as well for July. So I still think we have a shot at all-time highs in June. Obviously, the month just started. A lot of opportunity ahead. I still think we might hit in June, but if not, if we do see this choppiness, then I'm going to go ahead and say that we will see it in July, and that's my prediction. That's my outlook. I am bullish. Obviously, I could be wrong. It could drop 100% from here. Actually, probably can't drop 100%, but you know what I'm saying. So, just looking at the seasonality, I think where the economy is right now and how stocks are doing and how much they're investing in R&D and growth. From here, I do think we can see all-time highs in June, but if not, I definitely think July. So my upcoming prediction for you guys is I think that we might see healthy consolidation in the markets, maybe one more week. My hope is that this consolidation is just kind of a boring chug higher. I mean, even if you look at today's market action, the S&P is up 0.15%, nothing to celebrate about, nothing to go crazy. No one's popping champagne bottles, but if we get 0.15 one day, zero point 0.2 the next day, 0.1 the next day, and we just see a healthy consolidation where the momentum is still drifting higher, I think that would be really, really solid. That's what I expect to see. And then I think eventually, once we break above that 600 level, we're going to skip back to all-time highs from there. And maybe that'll happen next week. I told you CPI is coming next week. We might see some consolidation this week. CPI, if it's a good reading, this is what I think will happen next. And that's why I'm bullish on all-time highs in June. For earnings coming up and names to know, we have CrowdStrike after the close today. And Nate, do you remember, did we have a CrowdStrike trade yesterday? Did Lance do one? I didn't do one. Let me go look at this scanner for fun. So, we did. We did have a CrowdStrike one. I remember this one. So if you look at CrowdStrike here, someone bet a decent chunk, if I can get this to come over, on Lance's scanner. We actually have two decent size orders from last week. I don't know why those collapsed on me. There you go. Two bulls in on CrowdStrike, above ask on both of them, bullish. Short dated options. This one's expired, so let's not look at that. And it goes again. So there you can see. If you want to trade CrowdStrike, feel free to. I'm not going to trade it this time around. However, I am going to trade Lulu. I actually have a trade on right now. I will show it to you here on the next slide. Also on Thursday, AVGO, which will be a big one, probably the biggest one of the week, chip stock, and DocuSign as well. We talked about DocuSign a little bit yesterday, whereas it's a Max Payne sort of opportunity here where if it does pop, we could see it really squeeze like it has in the past. I mean, look at, like, here's an earnings beat for Docu back in December. Look at that. Big pop in earnings and then big squeeze during the day. Obviously, when it doesn't work out, or this one, it worked out too. Same thing, pop, squeeze. So we have that coming up. I have no clue what's going to happen. Let me pull up Lance's scanner again for fun, just to see if there's anything interesting on the scanner when we're looking at the options. Nothing on DocuSign right there. But we did, however, get a big order from Lululemon. Somebody decided to bet $616,000 on the weekly call options on Lulu ahead of earnings. Now, there's no way to know if they still own it or if they sold it, but that's a pretty big bet there. And Lulu's already made a nice move higher. It's up $11 today. Right now, I've got it open up 52%. I took two different positions, so I'm guessing this one here, 137. So it's not even near max profit yet. The more aggressive one's probably up a little bit bigger. But let me go ahead and post these in the chat. This is what I took yesterday. Obviously, it's up today, so don't look at those net debits or expected ROIs because they have now adjusted lower, and that's why I think it's a good idea to show up every day. But it's also why I'm excited about this new $1 members portal we're putting together. So if you do happen to miss the class, you'll be able to go in the members portal and you'll be able to see the trades we took that day. So for example, yesterday, if you missed the 10 a.m. and you saw it at 11:30, you still could have jumped in. Now I did post this in Telegram. So if you're not in Telegram, click that link there to join the Telegram. I'm going to go ahead and hold it through earnings. Feel free to sell it if you guys like your profits. Again, up 40, 50% right now. Feel free to take profits. I want to go ahead and let it ride for the earnings bet. Uh, More fun. I didn't put a huge amount in. So I'm going to let it go ahead and rip from here and see what happens. On a sector view, same sort of thing with the seasonality. We want to see how each sector performs, which, the S&P is split up with 11 sectors. So kind of just get a more granular view of the S&P. And let's take a look at June. Obviously, kind of mixed bag. It's not like March, April, and May where everything was positive. No, June is more of a mixed bag. The best ones I like are communication services and infotech. That's XLC and XLK. Healthcare is also a positive one, but as you'll see, not my top one right now. Ones that are typically weak, financials and materials are the laggards of the pack. So if I'm going to look at our sectors and see which ones do I want to stick with, again, I said typical summer chop. This is what last class looked like in May. We were able to trade a wider basket of stocks for really great results. This week, going into June, we're going to have to be a little more selective. So as far as sectors moving week over week, there's a slight rotation, nothing crazy. We did see tech get hit on Thursday, Friday, which is why the drop there. It's probably up again now. But for the sectors I like right now, top sectors, industrials, we talked about it last week. It's been just a very strong one. I just can't believe GE just goes up every single day. It seems like I've been waiting for a pullback. I owned this one a long time ago, sold it. I don't even know what I bought it at, but sold it at about buck 50, buck 60. And now it's at $250 a share. And look at this chart. Holy moly. This is an industrial stock. I mean, again, that's just insane. Love to see it. So industrials have been really hot for us. Communications has been really great for us. It's still a top sector for us. And again, seasonally, it's a top one as well. It's actually the best one for June. And technology has been a strong one for us. Again, it did take a little beating last week, but seasonally speaking, it's a strong sector. I did cut out financials this week just because I want to be more selective, and financials is typically a bit of a laggard in June. It does come back in July, so if it's still strong in July, we'll add it back to the list. But right now, I'm just going to avoid those financials for the time being. Now, I will say Progressive is technically a financial stock, but it's kind of different than a big bank stock, in my opinion. And for a stock that I don't like, or a sector I don't like, one that I might look for shorts in, definitely the material sector. It's been one of the worst ones for the last few weeks, and also seasonally speaking, it's a bad one as well, the worst of the sectors in June. So if you're looking for shorts, look in the materials sector. Now let's jump into the nitty gritty here, get some trades going, if you guys are good with that. And then let me open up my cool little new trade doc so I can post it in there so you guys will have some in the members portal by the time we do it, by the time we open that up tomorrow. So I just made a basic trade sheet like this. I'll just post them in there so you guys can access them in the portal. Sounds good? So today's date, June 3rd, 2025. Let's jump on into the nitty gritty. For the top apex signal of the week, we had Costco with a positive earnings result last week. It is down a little bit today, about 1% today. But as you can see, an apex entry here with a profit target of 1,081. It's about $40 higher or 4% higher on the stock right now. So what I'm going to do here is bump over to the options, and I'm going to give this, if you have apex, I'll just pull it up here real quick. You can see the typical hold time that you might want to follow for each individual stock. So let me pull up that cheat sheet for us so we know which expiration to pick. Here we go. I'll bring it on over. So the Apex stocks hit list, we're just going to go down to Costco. We're going to see typically every time that it gets an Apex entry, it's an 87% win rate. Not too bad, right? Average return 2.3 and a 7-week hold time. So we want to give it about 7 weeks to hit our profit target, in my opinion. So here's what I'm going to do. Today is June, so this will be 3 weeks out, and this will be about 7 weeks out if we go to July. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the July 18th monthly expirations. It's going to give us the best liquidity versus doing one of those yellow weekly expirations. Let me just show you. You can see the open interest really low versus the monthlies all in the hundreds. So our profit target for Costco is 1,081 on the apex signal. As you can see, it's been a very consistent signal, 87% win rate. So 1,080 is our profit target here. So I'm going to go ahead and do just a quick out of the money spread, just slightly out of the money. This is more expensive because Costco does have these bigger jumps and strikes. This is $800 for this trade because Costco is so expensive and they are needing to do a stock split for the sake of all of us. And then let me go ahead and open up the calculator that you guys can have access to as well once we get that membership live. Of course, if you have any of my memberships, you will have this calculator as well. So we're going to buy the 18th of July 160 call, and I'm going to sell the 18th of July 180 call. That gives us 7 weeks to hit our profit target. Right now, that's trading at 878 per contract. So let me type this in here. Buying the 1060, selling the 1080. I'll just type in one contract here, and I said 878. So calculator runs the math for us, does everything. Total risk, $878 on Costco. Max income potential, $1,122 in Costco if Apex is right again, which it has been right a little over 80% of the time. That's 128% return on Costco just by following this Apex signal. I think that's awesome. I hope I make $1,000 on this. That sounds great. So let me go ahead and type this up for you guys, and then I'll post it here in the chat. Apex entry on Costco by 18 July 25 expiration 1060 call, sell 18 July 25 expiration 1080 call. Net debit bumped a little bit for me. Net debit of around 883. Oh, it just dropped. Even better. 850. So here we go in the chat. And again, I'm posting this in the trade doc. So when we get that members portal, it'll just look like this. Hopefully that's pretty clear cut for you guys. Easy to follow if you happen to miss or if you want to go back and review the trades. All right, it's 870 now. That's about what we said earlier. Again, Thinkorswim does the math for you. If you want to see max profit, max loss, and let me go ahead and send that off. And I'll wait for it to fill. I'm not rushing into this, anything like that. I used a limit order, not a market order, because with these spreads, especially, this isn't an insane amount of open interest. They could be a little bit wider. So we just want to sit and be patient with it. All right, so that's our top Apex play of the week for you guys. Now, moving on here. This is one that's exciting to me. I bet it's exciting to you too. Seasonally speaking, Tesla is typically very, very strong in June. All right, so why do we like Tesla? Well, Costco just filled for me at 875 for Costco. So Tesla's been really great. We had that massive drop. We drew these trend lines all the way back here. I think we had an event for Tesla earnings. Roundtable had about 1,000 people on. Nate and I drew these lines. Everyone said it was going lower. We said it's going higher. Parked out at this midline just as expected, which is pretty awesome to see. And it is moving higher today. So I had this multi-day down day, which is fine. I mean, look at this run here. That's about a 50% move in the stock. A little pause. Now, seasonally speaking, from June 3rd to June 21st, Tesla typically rips 10%. It's gone up every single year for the last 10 years on those dates. So if we think it's going to go up, which I do, I'm very bullish on Tesla. This is a very good buying opportunity right here. And seasonally speaking, strong stock. Well, let's go ahead and play some options on it. Now, keep in mind, 18-day hold time. So we want to get around June 23rd or 21st. And then 10% move. I'm going to cut this move in half. I think 10% is a great move. It could definitely do it. I want to be a little more conservative. So I'm going to go for about a 5% move on Tesla. So here's our beautiful Tesla chart. Let me just go to a daily. You can see those lines still there. So I'm going to look for about a 5% move on Tesla, which would be about 15, 16, $17 from here, which would put us at, what is that, 365 or so on the strikes. So again, how do we choose our expiration? Well, let's let this do the talking for us. 18-day hold time. That puts us at June 21st. So I'm going to find the one closest to June 21st, which is the monthly expiration of the June 20th expiration. And again, my goal is 365. And I'll just go ahead and take a look at these options real quick and see. I might even go more conservative. So this one's pretty awesome. So I'm just going to rush through this here. So this one, if we get that 635 move, that's a 200% move on Tesla. Does everyone like that one? Or should I go safer? Let's see. Safer or go with it? What do you guys think? All right, we got some safer, a lot safer, and a couple go with it. So here, I'm going to go ahead and type this in here, and then I'll give you a safer one as well. So hot sheets, should probably do this. Hot sheet, Tesla. So let me go aggressive. We're going to buy the 20 of June, and I'll give you guys a basic call too. If you guys want to trade basic call, of course, you can just trade the stock, the underlying stock if you want to. We're going to buy the 20th of June 362.5 call, and we're going to sell the 20th of June 365. It's trading at 80-cent net debit. It'll pay just a little over 200% if we're right. And then let me go safer. I'll just say moderate. So let me just go ahead and send this off. Let's go moderate. Let's see what happens if we go here. This is a good one here. So if Tesla gains about $3 from here, so about 1% over the next 3 weeks, which is obviously, I think, very, very reasonable, we can make a little over 100% here. I'll walk you through the calculator too, just so you guys can see. And I know some of you guys are saying this is a little over your head right now. Don't worry. We'll do a full training on it here. We try and rotate it every couple of weeks since I know we get a lot of newbies in the door, which is totally fine. Basically, I'm just trying to show you a cool way to get maximum bang for your buck without paying for time decay. So here it's a 250 spread here. So that's a max selling point, 2.5. We're paying 115. So our max profit here is 117% return on investment if Tesla gains about 1% over the next 3 weeks. Let me post these in the chat. Now, for some of you who maybe want yeah, I just realized I didn't post it yet. For some of you who may want a even safer play, let's say Tesla doesn't go up, but let's just say it doesn't fall too much. Let me check out these prices and I'll talk you through it. Oh, this is amazing. So let's say Tesla doesn't fall $12 over the next 3 weeks, right? We think it's bullish. It could chop with the markets, but we just don't think it's going to fall. And I just pulled a random one here just for example's sake. $12, which is about 4% downward from here. What we can do here is we can just go deeper in the money with our trade. So let me type this one up for you and walk you through it. Safer. We're going to buy the 20 of June still trading 20 June expiration. 332.50 and 335. So buying the 332.50 call, selling the 335. Right now this is at a net debit. It was a 150. I'll just put it there for roundness of number. Here you go. This is all for Tesla, yes. So here we go. Now this is saying our max selling point is again 250. Let's say we pay $1.50 to enter. We can make 67% return on investment. Think about that. You can make 67% return on investment even if Tesla falls 4% over the next 3 weeks. So it could go to the moon. It could go that full 10%. It could go up 2%. It could be flat. It could lose 1% or 2%. It could lose 4%. And you're still going to make a 60, 70% return on investment. That's a much safer trade here on Tesla. And there aren't even any earnings during that period, which is pretty wild that you're getting that much premium And if you want to go even safer, you can go way down here. Let me just send this one off so I can track it. Well, I'm going to hold a whole bunch of Tesla options. Love it. I mean, this one, 443 entry, $5 max spread. That's about 12, 13% profit on Tesla if it doesn't fall 12% over the next 3 weeks. You can get really, really creative with this stuff here. Let me pause for a second. Let me see. I know I just covered a lot of that pretty fast, and I should have slowed down for you guys, so I apologize. But I actually do, Nate, if you're on, is your camera working now?
I think I figured it out.
Oh, there he is. If you're up for it, I don't know if you're ready for it or not, but I just walked through an aggressive, moderate, and safer play on Tesla options. Did it manually, kind of just did some select. I mean, for the safer one, I totally picked a random one here that was just if Tesla falls 4%, we make money. Just showed him Tesla could fall 12% and you make money. Do you mind walking people through real quick how they can do that in a much, much easier way than what I just did? Are you okay to do that or no?
Yeah, I'll do it real quick. I do have to jump off for a meeting here in a couple minutes, but let me just zip through one here real quick
Check
to
this
show
out,
you.
guys.
I did, by the way, if you're my Telegram, I did a quick video showing this off a little bit before because it's just getting pretty incredible. Um, it's I had I had a big idea for the income machine, and now we're just blowing it out of the water at this point.
Do you mind
Uh,
I know there's a lot of people here for the first time, kind of just giving a quick summary of what this is, what we're looking at?
Okay, so the idea of the income machine is basically to find the best income opportunities in the stock market, to find the stocks and the scenarios that pay you the most amount of money based on some specific preferences. Like you might want to be more aggressive and trade it semi-directionally, or you might want to trade it, safer, like what I would call a defensive trade. But the idea here is, like Graham just showed you, we look through all these options chain, trying to find, well, if I give it a little more time, can I get a little more bang for my buck? If I give it a little less time, if I go up a strike, if I go down a strike. And because the options chains are so massive, it's incredibly difficult. Like the hard truth is that the thousands of trades I end up taking over the course of a year, probably most of them are not quote unquote optimized because I didn't look through every single option and say, well, actually, if I took the June 23rd and went up a strike, I could have gotten more bang for my buck under the same circumstance. It's just too many. There's literally millions and millions of individual options, and then you make spreads, and now you're combining options. And so what the income machine is designed to do is find stocks that I think are ideally poised for an income setup, and then use an algorithm to dig through all of the options chains to then actually create the best opportunity with the highest probability. And so that's what kind of the culmination of this is, that I'm now very, very close to getting our, my all access members are going to get it within days from now. And then we're going to be able to open it up after that. So here is an example. We've got a couple opportunities based on the algo for what stocks might be good for income. Click MDLZ here. It tells you here's why it's a good opportunity: short-term trend, long-term trend, snapback, weekly momentum, stabilizing, all locked in, gives you some extra information like the daily volume and a nice little price chart there as well. And then you can go choose your income strategy. And now this is where it gets really crazy. Now it's going to let you choose based on what you like. Do you want a more passive, higher win rate, lower ROI? Do you want to go kind of steady in between, or do you want to go more aggressive? And it's going to tell you, your ROI is about 13% on the passive, 19% on the steady, or maybe 35% on the aggressive. Going to give you the dates, all that kind of stuff. And one thing we're doing here, which I've gotten lots of questions about, is how do we manage it? Well, you're holding till expiration to go for the max value. So your ROI here is going to be baked in. Whatever you go for, that's what you're going for. Then you click that. It's going to tell you, okay, here's the spread you might want to trade, 58, 59. All the data is right here. The trade summary is right here. The spread cost, the break-even price, the return on investment, like I said, 13.8, because we went for kind of the safest one. And this part's pretty cool. Stock scenarios here, you can see what happens. Well, in this case, even on the most extreme one, it's actually still a win. Normally, this would be like red. It would tell you, once you get down to the stock losing a lot, you're going to lose. And it's going to take you through the different scenarios. But this case, it's actually a pretty extreme one. If the stock is down 7.5%, we win. Down 5%, we win. Down to, all these different scenarios end up as a win. So, yeah, that's kind of the snapshot. There's a couple other things I'm still adding into the equation here, but this is doing what Graham and I try to do on an individual stock basis every day, but doing it in one, algorithmic platform that finds those ideal spreads for us.
Yeah, that's nuts. So I mean, I just manually went through those for you guys, those spreads to give you an aggressive, moderate, and safer one. What Nate's doing is he's already giving you the stock selection, giving you the analysis, and then it's going through the options chain itself to source the best, most liquid options that you can take under those three categories. So I asked you guys in the chat, and we had a mixed bag. Some wanted safer, some wanted more aggressive. Everybody's got a different kind of investment profile. And that's why this is such a cool tool because it's custom curve fit to you and how you like to trade. So, little sneak peek there. Thank you, Nate, for sharing that with
Yep.
us. Now, I did announced yesterday, guys, that obviously that costs a lot of money, time, and resources to put together. I'm sure you guys can understand that. However, Nate did say that if I can get 500 people to sign a petition, he will offer a free trial to that income machine where you can use it, test it, hopefully make some money on it. Um, for free with no strings attached. This isn't like a trick here. It's literally for free to try it out. Now we did get Nate. We have 127 people who have so far signed the petition. So we need to get to 500. We're about a quarter of the way there, but we've got some ways to go. If you guys join Nate's Telegram, or if you take a look in there, you'll be able to see that link where you can go get your name on that petition to sign it. A quick questionnaire for you, as well as we go ahead and try to push for this free launch of the income machine. If that's something that you guys would like to have access to, just go ahead and throw a yes in the chat because I love to see it. Isaac, the link for it is in Nate's Telegram. So if you're not in there, definitely. Okay, wow. About 80 yeses in 20 seconds there. Well, I think we're going to get there. Again, we have 120. Let me just refresh it. 127 names on the petition. We need 500. So we got a couple of days. I think the official release date is going to be June 16th. So we're about 2 weeks out. I think we'll get there. And you guys are going to get your hands on that for free. People are asking for the Tesla trade in the chat here again.
And let me find that because Graham, you're actually the one who hijacked Telegram last night and posted it. So I gotta find it. We should do a different petition. Graham currently has admin access to my Telegram. We should do a petition on whether Graham should have admin access to my Telegram.
So good.
Totally separate petition there. So. Okay, is this the right? Graham. Okay, I think this is the right link. Graham. There you go.
There you go.
So that's the one that you posted. Has some questions in there. Basically, what that's going to do, correct me if I'm wrong, Graham, not only obviously we're going to do the petition, which I think will be fun and get 500 people so that we can do, for the first time ever, the free access idea, which, by the way, I mean, it might sound easy. Like people say like, oh, let me try it for free. It actually is a lot of work to get our system set up so you can give free access without taking a credit card. And there's just lots of system stuff that might sound simple, but actually isn't simple that we're working on. But I think we're also going to gather some like investment profile data so that we can even optimize the income machine more specifically for our people.
Yeah, definitely. And I think for you guys too, just following up with those questions, answering them will kind of give you an idea of how may I want to trade the income machine. You got to realize now, because before it's been, trader picks the trades for you, hands it to you, and it's up to you to take it. Now the world is your oyster. The stock market is your little oyster, and you get to pick it what best suits you and your goals. So that'll be super, super cool. We already got a lot of people who said they're already on it. Love it. Again, up to 127, we got to get to 500. Here's just a little bragging rights for me and my team on the seasonal picks and the on the clock stocks membership. We've been on a hot streak. That March, April period was rough. Seasonality, we might as well throw them out the window because tariff news was running everything. So we did take some losers then, but it's nice to see booked 5 profits in a row. And we've got 4 open right now. So these are some extra bonus tickers you may want to look at. I'm not going to give you the dates and options here, but those are some ones that we're trading right now, seasonally speaking, that are doing quite well for us. Hot streak. Hopefully all of these close for a win, and I can say we're 9 for 9 by the time I bring this back up. All right, let's go ahead and look at the Newton momentum picks. These are just the stocks that are outperforming on momentum levels right now. I'm going to flip over here to my Newton scanner, and this is on the fly because this acts in real time. APA, not good. As you guys know, with Newton, I like stocks that are trending upwards, right? And in good sectors as well. APA, not looking pretty at all. We're going to go ahead and pass on that one. Expedia, now this one's an interesting one. We look at it's a consumer discretionary stock, which has been one of our top sectors. It wasn't for this week. However, it's been a good, strong stock. It's breaking above the 200-day moving average, but as we can see, it's kind of fizzled out a few times when it taps that 200-day. So right now, the momentum is positive on Expedia. It has a chance of breaking through, breaking higher. But the one I really like today that I want to turn your attention to is Walmart. I mean, look at that trend. Beautiful trend. When the markets took that massive hit, it didn't even dip that far below its 200-day moving average. It's now back up, moving higher. And as you can see from the lower Newton momentum readings, it's positive right now. It was yellow, which is just kind of chopping on the sidelines. Now it's just flipped positive for the first time since, what is this? Since April, since the market started rebounding hard off the lows. So Walmart right now is my favorite Newton pick today. Now, of course, this may not mean anything to you right now. You might not even know what I'm talking about when I say momentum or Newton. But I am going to show you right now how to trade these picks for entry and exit. Obviously, Walmart being my top one today. I'm going to walk you through it step by step, and you guys can get it on your chart.